What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here to talk to you about My Hero Academia. Manga chapter 263 titled I Wanted to Be with the Others. And when it comes to this chapter of My Hero Academia, it is a really character-centric chapter. And you'll never guess who it's Kaminari. It's Kaminari. It's obviously Kaminari. If the title of this chapter did not give it away, because literally he's the one, like last chapter, not even last chapter, like a few chapters ago, before the war arc really began, he was like, I miss you guys in 1A. And just, they all hear him. It's like, yeah, this is a Kaminari-centered chapter, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a really good chapter. So with that out the way, let's get right into it, and we start off with Mineta being a little shit. I like Mineta, I honestly do, but he's being a little shit at this first few panels because he's basically like sitting down and like everyone's like, it's time, come on. Like Sarah is talking to little grape juice looking dude. Mineta is like, Mineta, what are you doing? Get up. Come on, let's get up, grape juice. And Mineta's just sitting on the rock. It's like, why? Aren't we like the cleanup crew? Like, aren't we like the ones that are like, if some like aren't we the ones that are like, if something goes wrong, then we'll help them? Like, if we do anything now, wouldn't that just be an insult to the pros? And I'm like, Mineta, sort of, you do make sense. But you know what you could be doing right now though, Mineta? Instead of sitting on a rock doing nothing, standing up and being productive. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but like that doesn't matter because you're still in like a situation where it's like you still have to act like a pro. Even though you're a student, you will not act like a pro, but you still have to act like a hero, and this is something that a hero would do, just sit on a rock and complain. So yes, at this moment, Mineta is being a little shit, and Sarah is calling him out about him, saying, just get up already, come on. And what is even funnier is that I feel like he says this, and it's like, you have this little like beast, like wolf-looking dude, and he's like, oh, it's begun. And Mineta's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, serves you right. But if anything, we also see Jiro, and like she uses her earphone jack to like go into the ground, and she's hearing it, and she's like, yep, it's definitely begun. Yep, they're on the move. And then the beast dude basically just goes on like this like announcement, and it's like, yeah, we've gathered here. Like, there's a lot of heroes here, but just because there are a lot of heroes here, it doesn't mean that we have to be careless. Because it's like, yeah, he makes like, in other words, like, we don't know exactly who will be fighting. We don't know which one of y'all are going to be fighting. But, like, we got to make sure just in case. So, like, yeah, like I said, Mineta was being a little shit, and, like, he's like, yeah, it's like, we have a whole lot of numbers, but it doesn't mean nothing. Like, as far as, literally everyone in the front line could die, meaning that every one of y'all are going to be fighting, or maybe like one person goes down and we send someone there. We just don't know, so we have to be ready for the worst. And while like he's saying this, Jiro just has the ears on the ground thinking to herself, it's like, yeah, Tomoyami said that they're going to be fine, but are they really going to be okay? And Momo just comes to comfort Jiro, being like best girl as she always is. And just like, don't worry, they'll be fine. And then Denki just comes up screaming like, I want to be with the others. I don't want to be here. But then as soon as he says that, we just see like a good panel of like literally all the heroes. We see Miss Joke. We see Lady Edgeshot, some Mentos. Even in the background, we see Midnight. We have Kamui Woods. We have Gang Orca. We have like a whole bunch of heroes. Even like a lot of the students. We just have just an entire spread of heroes. And like even some people, Fat Gum is there. We just, Sun Eater's also there. And it's just like this entire spread of just all of these heroes. And then you also have the students there. And Denki's just like going out of his mind. He's like freaking out and he's stressed. And you know what? It makes sense. He's a teenager. He's a child. Sure, he wants to be a hero. But guess what? When you're put in a stressful situation, you're gonna fucking crack and you're gonna cry. And that's what Denki is doing. But a good thing that Midnight does, like basically Midnight, who's like his teacher, is being like a teacher, is trying to not confront him, but comfort him by saying, yo, you know, like it's okay, Kaminari, but you have to remember, like you chose to be here, but it's like we really need your quirk, but it's pathetic of us heroes to literally ask children for help. Like, and I'm so sorry for that. And like Kaminari is like, even though he's freaking out, he's like, no, I don't think you're all pathetic. There's no way I would ever think that. And then you have Tokoyami, who also tries to comfort like Kaminari, and just like Kaminari, he basically like, Kaminari, you're a magnificent fellow. And Kaminari is like, oh, it's like, you're a magnificent fellow. I will know this because remember that time we played at the cultural festival? You're a magnificent fellow. And Kaminari is like, what are my guitar skills gonna have to do with this? And Kaminari's like, no, that's not what I meant. That's Kaminari. No, I'm talking about the other thing. You know what? Never mind. Let's just keep running. And he actually elaborates that on a little bit later, but it's just hilarious, just how Kaminari is like, yeah, how would my guitar skills have anything to do with us fighting a league of villains? But yeah, Kaminari is just like acting crazy, which in reality, this is technically like in his character. This is something that we've seen him do before. Like, he wants to be a hero, but like he, for the most part, relies on other people. Especially like an example is during the provisional license exam, where like he was so scared and so frightened about like going up against like just other students that yes, he did take down like the like meat processing dude, but like he was terrified about that. But the only reason why he was able to even do it is because of his friends. So that's probably what Tokoyami is elaborating on, but we'll talk about it more in detail. But speaking of detail, we get Cementos just out of nowhere, just basically using his quirk, which for the most part, like, gives him manipulation of cement and able to produce it from his body, is basically like ripping this building apart. And I always thought Cementos' ability was broken as you don't know what, because literally every building that like exists has a form of cement in it, meaning that Cementos is like, whenever he goes into a building, he gets freaking like manipulated as whatever he wants, destroy it, and he can do that, and no one can stop him, as far as we know. So he's ripping into this building, and then we have Skeptic, who is basically panicking, and it's like, oh no, where's the council? Like, we gotta tell them the heroes are here. Team Violet, Team Black, you're going to the front. You're going to fight. Brown also going to the front, and then it's like the other one is like, everybody else, like, go alert the council, and he's like freaking out. He's like, oh no, everybody, we gotta get fighting. Oh my gosh! And then you just see this little like one of the advisors for Brown. For the Brown part of the Paranormal Liberation Front, he's just walking in, so cool and collected, lights a cigarette with its quirk, and from the looks of it, he has like a little lightning bolt in his hair and a little scar on his face, and a little bit of tidbit of information that I like to discuss towards the end of this chapter. But this dude kind of looks like someone in this chapter that we've seen. Kind of looks like a little electric guy that we know who has the exact similar streak in his hair. Kind of like Kaminari Denki. Is Denki the UA traitor? Is this his father? Maybe? We'll see. But in reality, what happens within the next few pages may be shocking to a lot of people who are in the My Hero Academia fandom. But besides that, Cementos, like I said, goes ham. Literally, like, basically, it's like opens up the building like a book. Like, both sides are just opened up. It's wide. You can literally see every single floor inside of this building. Cementos is powerful, but then you just see this like I'm just gonna call him Denki's father just walking out, and it's like, yeah, you wanna know why this happened? It's because we followed Shigaraki. Now it's time for us to act. And we just see a panel, and he says, in the name of liberation, and we see a panel of the heroes on the right side, the villains on the left. A lot of these villains just look like the advisors for the different factions of the Liberation Army. But then on the right, we just have an entire panel of just the pro heroes. Like I said, Mount Lady, we see Cementos, we see Kamui Woods. Uh, and probably the biggest surprise, and I really enjoy that he's here, we see Sunny there in that pro hero panel, which makes sense because he is a part of the big three who are like on the same level of pros, if not a little bit higher. So I enjoy that he's there as well. We see Gang Orca, Fat Gum, and all of them. Miss Joke, I'm pretty sure, is somewhere in the background as well. And then we also get like small panels cutting to more of the League of Villains. We see Compress, we see Toga, we see Geton, and we see Dobby. There's just like basically like all about to like realizing like, yo, what's going on, running to the danger. And then we have Edgeshot basically leading the charge. It's like, yo, we have to apprehend all of them. These people are willing to sacrifice themselves for this cause. We're going to capture them. And if one of them escapes, we're screwed. They're going to be a public threat. So let's go. And Denki is like, let's defend our society. Let's fight on. And Denki's just looking around like, oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And Midnight, one last time, just tries to like, encourage Denki and basically tells him like, yo, don't be swept up in the mood. You have to retain focus and like hold on to your heart. And he's like, Denki is just like so like anxious and like nervous. He's like, but right now he just wants to be with his friends. He wants to be with his classmates. He wants to be with everyone. He wants to be with Jiro. And we get this very cute scene that just puts fuel on the fire for Denki and Jiro fans, like, who ship them. And I am one of those people, and I love this scene because she calls him Charge Bolt. She calls him by his hero name, which is very important because this is Jiro. Like, she teases Denki. She, like, pokes fun of him when he goes into his his like dirt form and calls him like Hemingway because of like how he like acts like duh, duh. But by her referring to him as like hero name is like her like saying like, yo, just be strong, stay strong, like you can do this, like we believe in you. And we see Kaminari's face. It has like this shocked expression on his face. And I think it's because he possibly can't communicate and know what they're feeling because of his like electric quirk, and it probably connect to like radio wave, like being able to hear it through his electricity, some form of that. He hears Jiro say this, and I think at this moment he gains the confidence because we see his like basically father-looking dude using a taser, because so apparently he cannot produce electricity by himself. He needs a source for it. Puts it on his hand, like charges it up, like is about to send out this big blast while exclaiming that he has the best quirk. He's the best of the best, and sends out like just an electric blast at the heroes, calling out an attack. And while he's doing this, we get an elaboration of what Tokiyami was referring to by he's like he understands Kaminari, where it's like when they were practicing the guitar, how like he was playing the guitar and like he was bleeding, like, and Tokiyama was like, yo, you know, you sure, like maybe we should stop. And he's like, basically it's like, nah, I'm good, cause like, you know, it's something that Jiro wants to do, and like she has a passion for music, so I just want to help her succeed at doing it. And then we elaborate on what Tokiyami says is that he's someone who looks out for others, which makes sense. Going back to the provisional licensing exam where he might have been scared, but like he saw that his friends were in danger, so he took that initiative to take down like the meat processing dude. So we see this basically Kaminari looking dad sends out a fire suppressive discharge, an entire just wave of electricity gets sent out in the direction of the heroes, but he just like has like this expression of like, my attack is being absorbed. And Kaminari having his signature like L shape, like is holding up to the air, absorbing all the electricity, and it's saying like, yo, don't worry about the people in the back line. I'm gonna neutralize this guy. And let's get all of them. And then he just looks so cool. He's like in this pose and it's just so amazing. And then the chapter ends, or does it? Because how it actually ends is Hawks and Bubagawawa, also known as Twice. I cannot pronounce his name. Twice just has like all of his feathers pointed at Twice with this just like face of like, just like villain, almost like anger and like, I'm about to like kill this person type of eyes. And then he says, so tell me, and then just cuts off. Where it's presuming that he's saying, so tell me, where is Shigaraki? As Twice is just scared, realizing, oh no, I did it again. As the chapter ends. Whoa. Like I said, this chapter, very Kaminari centric. Like literally this entire chapter was just focused on Kaminari. And then you have the ending, which is like just there, like the final page is just there to like tie into like the next chapter. But like besides that, this entire chapter is just solely on Kaminari. Like basically like how he had, just elaborating more on Kaminari, because we haven't had a whole lot in the manga up until this point. We've had little tidbits of it, and that can be said about like every other hero in the class. But I think this just shows like Hirokoshi and like how he writes his characters and how he gives pretty much everybody their moment to shine. And Kaminari had a moment to shine within the provisional license arc, but this is like his big moment. Like everyone is going to get like their one big moment. And I think with this one, this is Kaminari's big moment because we get a little bit more elaboration on the type of person he is and how he acts in like a dangerous situation where it's like he's scared, he's frightened, he's like panicking, but he's able to collect himself when he realizes, if I just keep doing this, then what are my friends gonna think? And also like I have to protect them because like they're my friends, like I value them and I want to make sure like they're safe and that they don't have to go through the trouble. So I'll take it upon on myself. In the same vein of he's taking all that electricity on himself. And I think what this chapter also confirms, I think this is something Hirokoshi is like poking the bear at and is trying to show that, so y'all thought that Kaminari was the traitor now, did you? Well, looky here. He's saving all the heroes. I think Hirokoshi's telegraphing that, yeah, Kaminari is not the traitor. No, he's literally a hero who protects his friends. So how can that really be the hero? How can that be the traitor? It's not. So y'all gotta find someone else. So yeah, no, the chapter completely like blows that theory out the water. I do not think that Kaminari is a traitor. After reading this chapter, I don't think you should either. Now it's still a possibility, but I think just the fact that we have a little bit better understanding of who Kaminari is as a person, he does not seem to be like the traitor person. Especially since we also have like the lightning dude who I'm assuming is Kaminari's father, only on the basis of doing a little bit of research, realizing just tiny little piece of information that electric quirks are apparently rare. And when it comes to quirks, a lot of times they are deals with heredity, where some are more dominant than others, where it's very possible, because an example is you got Tsuyu Frogby, who inherit like her like frog-like appearance from both her parents, because there's like frog and toad-like, so she and her brothers and sisters are more toad-like. And then you also have Jiro, who has earphone jacks, who she inherited directly from her mother because her quirk is dominant. Then you also have like dominance and recessiveness when it comes to Shoto, how he's half hot and half cold because his father is fire and his mother is ice, and how he's like heterozygous. So if a quirk is rare, it could be a possibility that because it's so rare that those who have like electric quirks may be more likely related to each other. And this isn't the first time we've seen a hero with an electric quirk. If we remember from literally the first arc, not first arc, but like the USJ arc, there was like an electric dude there that Kaminari fought. So This isn't the first time he's fought someone with electric powers, but we also know that it's very rare. And due to the fact that certain traits are inheritable by their children, like physical like features. For example, you have a Kota who has similar features and like autonomy to his mother because they look very similar. So those traits are also most likely than not inheritable as well. So it's very likely that that dude is Kaminari's father or is a relative of Kaminari, which could mean that because he's a relative, it makes it less likely that Kaminari would be a villain and a traitor, because there's the dichotomy of those who are like heroes, who have parents that are like straight up like villains, or either most likely to become heroes to go against them or to be better heroes. For example, Shoto and Endeavor. Shoto wants to be a hero because he wants to be a hero, but also to like go against Endeavor. So it's very likely that they are related in some form or another. And also a little bit of tidbit of information. What we see Kaminari do in this chapter, if you saw the My Hero Academia Hero Rising movie, this was actually spoiled for you. Because when I was reading this chapter beforehand, I realized, oh wow, so he can absorb lightning like a lightning rod. Oh my gosh, we saw that in the movie. So yeah, apparently like we got spoiled. Like, and what is funny is that I saw the movie before this chapter came out. So I really feel sorry for those who like saw this movie like a few weeks ago, read this chapter, and it's like, wait, what? So he can do that and just ties that into the movie. The movie's not canon, but apparently it uses canon material because this chapter shows that that's something that he could have done, and maybe that's the first time he did it. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good chapter. I thought everything with Kaminari was great, strong, just shows more character development of Kaminari. And it also shows like how he has built up relationships with other individuals in the class, such as Tokoyami, especially Jiro. Also, just feeling the shipping for Jiro and Kaminari. It's great. I love that pairing really much. Like, turns out how enough they're going to end up together. Also, it just makes sense. Earphone Jack's electricity dude who can charge phones, just perfect match. As well as like towards the end, just build up to what Hawk is going to do to Twice, and how Twice, if anything, what I enjoy about the ending of the chapter is like how it's going to affect Twice mentally, because he already blames himself for what happens to Big Sis Magna, as well as with Compress's arm, and now this is something, and he also like what happened with Toga and how she almost died like kind of by his hands, quote unquote. So this is probably gonna really mess up with Twice, because he realized, oh no, I've done it again. I've put my friends in danger again, because he does view the villains as his friend, as well as like the same thing that happened with like the oh gosh, I forgot his name, but like also when like they first fought the Liberation Army, how they went after him, like same thing, that he feels that he's responsible for it. So this is probably just gonna like just hurt him more. So in reality, like if there was any chance that Twice could have been a hero, this just like confirms that, oh no, there's no way he can become a hero now. He's gonna die a villain. And a theory that I have is that he's probably gonna make a clone of himself, and the original clone, he himself may die, but because he made a clone of himself, that clone would still be able to live on. So even though they lose the ability to like multiply, because like they have a clone, and the clone can clone himself and still have Twice's memories and his quirk, then that's a possibility that Twice could die. He may commit suicide. That may be a little dark. He may be killed. But because he has the power to multiply, like he can never truly die unless the clone gets extremely damaged. So really, it was a really good chapter. The only real like negative I can say about this chapter is ironically Mineta being, like I said, one more time, say it with me now, being a little shit. I still like Mineta, but he was being a little shit. And if it wasn't for that, I would give it a 5 out of 5 chapter, but Mineta brings it down to a 4.5. Thanks, Mineta, you little grapefruit looking piece of shit. But yes, hopefully you did enjoy this video. Wow, I swear, a lot of this video. Luckily, I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. But hopefully you enjoyed this review. I really did enjoy filming it. Hopefully you'll continue watching this my reviews of My Hero Academia. And like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And hopefully I'll be able to see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.